Hey guys, Katie here, and today's video is showing you how to make a scrapbook layout being inspired by a card as part of the Creative Design Team monthly collab.
So for this month's collab, I have decided to pull some photos from Thanksgiving several years ago. I've already created a collage of selfies that I take with my family. I'll explain a little bit more about that later on in the video. And then I've also pulled some additional photos. These aren't the only ones, they're off camera. So I'm going to be making a 2-page layout featuring the Autumn to Remember. So you can see here some of those pattern papers. So there is on one side. Here's a look at those patterns on the other side. And then of course I have the sticker sheet that's going to make it really easy for me to embellish this layout. I've also have the Autumn to Remember scrapbooking kit. Now, I usually always buy the kits because they come with exclusive die cuts, and that's also going to make this layout come together pretty fast. Now, for the theme this month, as you probably know watching the other girls, it is to take a Christmas card from one of our 31 Days of Christmas events in the past and then gain inspiration from that. So I've pulled these 3 cards. I am having a hard time deciding which one actually, but you can see just the boldness. This one kind of has a glitter feel, which I definitely could bring into this layout using some mocha or some brown glitter. This one has a lot of title options that you could use on scrapbook layouts. And then of course this one is just kind of elegant. I love the flip flap that I've created, and now that Stampin' Up! Carries flip flaps, you'll see here that this is labeled close to my heart, but don't worry, they are available. Stampin' Up! These are the 8x12s. A lot of sizes have sold out, but as of the time I'm making this video, this is still available. So if I'd go with that one, I'm going to choose the 8x12 flip flaps. So I'm going to go get some help from my daughter right quick and see if she can help me decide on these.
Hey, can I ask you a question right quick?
Yes.
Pick one of these cards that I should use on my next layout.
I think this one.
Okay, thanks.
Welcome.
So not only am I pulling inspiration from the Christmas card, but I've also pulled out our Volume 1 12x12 sketchbook. I am going to gut this piece of early espresso cardstock. That's going to allow me to use the center for some more pieces on this 2-page layout, as well as just kind of cut down on the bulk. So when I have a gutted piece of cardstock, I do prefer to put the adhesive directly onto the cardstock base and then put the pattern pieces or whatever pieces I'm going to put on top of that. It just allows me to not apply adhesive where there is no backing, if you will. So here's a look at the 2 pages together. I'm going to start adding some more of the pattern paper from the Autumn to Remember. I've pulled out my Versamat so I can line up these 2 pieces. I'm trying to use scraps because the majority of that is not going to show. And then I'm going to pull out the photos. Now, the left page has 2 4x6s. I am going to reposition that top one just a little bit. And then the right one has that 8x10 with all of the selfies with my family members. That is something I enjoy doing each year. Of course, some people don't like that, but I love that tradition. Now, to mimic that Christmas card, I've pulled out the Stickles glitter gel, as well as the flip flap, some sequins, and then tear tape really works best for this, or red line tape. Now, I want to make sure that I'm working on the right side of the flip flap. So that backing actually goes toward the back. And so I am just going to apply this tear tape right inside that little flap. And then that way, when I close it, the adhesive is hidden and you don't have any extra adhesive on that. Now I am going to take a bone folder and just make sure that that's really burnished down, and then I'm going to add some of these sequins. Now these sequins are old, but I love that they had color sequins, some gold leaves, as well as some little micro beads. As far as this little sticker, I loved it, but I'm afraid that the moisture from the Nebula Stickles glitter gel is going to discolor it. Now you can see little tiny stars in there, so I really did not need the sequins, but I just kind of wanted to add something extra. I did realize that I am almost out of this, so I did pull out a second jar. And then you're just going to put that glitter gel into the flip flap, and then you're just going to kind of spread it around. Now, that other container, I did take it off camera and put some water in it. It literally was hard and it is almost empty. So right here, I am actually kind of starting to panic because I've got this big, huge piece of real estate in the 8x12 flip flap and only a little bit of that gold or that Nebula Stickles glitter gel. I'm using my fingers to kind of move this around, and then you'll see me pick up the flip flap, kind of separate the two layers, and that's going to allow me to kind of move the sequins around as well. Now, I do get tired of that, so I pull out a brayer, and I'm going to work on this for quite a while. And this is a perfect opportunity to explain why we are scrap lifting a Christmas card. That is because our 31 Days of Christmas card event is now open for registration. You can register using the link below, and you can also sign up for some of our older classes at a discount. So I've decided to go ahead and add some more from that jar that I added water to. It did loosen up a little bit. It's going to give me just the perfect amount that I need. And I'm using my palette knife to just kind of get into those corners. And then I'm also going to kind of use it to move around the sequins that I couldn't do by peeling the two parts of this flip flap back. So I am happy with how that has kind of spread out. I will be decorating this flip flap as well, so it doesn't have to be perfect. So I've removed the backing to that tear tape and then taking my bone folder and making sure that it is really adhered down. Now I didn't mention that, but you want to make sure that glitter gel does not get onto that tear tape. Now, I've pulled out the exclusive die cuts from the Autumn to Remember Scrapbooking Workshop Kit. Remember, I told you that I always purchase these kits because they have exclusive pattern papers, exclusive die cuts. This is an exclusive chipboard little embellishment piece that I love as well. So I'm looking at that and just picking some hearts, some little sayings. I love the grateful title and then this little circle title. And then I am going to put that back in, kind of clear off these layouts, grab one of the stickers that I know I'm going to use and put that on my anti-static pouch. Now, the left and right layout have these pieces of pecan pie cardstock. I originally was going to leave them cardstock, but now I'm thinking they need some pattern paper. So I'm trying to decide between the adorable little animals and then the trees. So I'm just going to pull out my photos. I decided on the trees. Because Stampin' Up! Has released their two-tone cardstock, I wanted to make sure that I am matching the same tone, which is the original side of the pecan pie cardstock. So that's why I kind of brought that larger piece over. I did lift up that photo mat just a little bit to tuck those trees in behind there, and I am happy with that. Now to work on this one, remember this is also going to be a second flip flap. So I want to decorate the back as well, and that is where I'm bringing in those adorable little animals. I'm going to attach my photos. I have a 4x6 and a 4x4, and all my photos are matted with white as well as the pretty pink. So I've got the photo of the 4x6 at the bottom, trying to decide which is the outside of this one, and it's going to be this right side. So I decided to put my photo on that outside. And then I'm going to start decorating with the die cuts from the workshop kit and the sticker sheet. So I've attached 3D foam tape to the back of this sticker, and that is kind of serving as my title. And then I've got some of the wild wheat ribbon that was brand new to the mini catalog. Absolutely love this ribbon. Wild wheat is not a color in this collection, but it goes so well, and that ribbon is just so dainty. So I've tied a knot. I am going to trim that down, and I'm going to do the same to that other tag as well. And I always like to put a glue dot underneath the knot, and it just makes it stay in place. I'm going to trim those tails off, and then I'm going to bring in the flip flap with the glitter gel. Now you could leave it as is, but because it's such a big piece, I wanted to also add some decorative elements in the way of stickers. And then you see that I've pulled out my Spotlight on Nature dies. These circles, I already had so many cut and I was being lazy. So I decided to use those to replicate the grouping that is on the Christmas card that I drew inspiration from. So I am liking this larger circle. Now that is cut from a Close to My Heart glitter paper, and tear tape works best on these memory protectors, these flip flaps. So I'm attaching this glitter circle cut from the Spotlight on Nature's using tear tape, and then I'm going to attach 3D foam tape. You want to make sure that you're not using liquid adhesive on these flip flaps. That little slick surface, it really just does not work very well. Now, as far as this goes, because I have added one of the glitter circles, I need to go ahead and add at least one or two more. So I have attached the Oh Blessed Day. I put a little bit of liquid adhesive, but that glitter paper is kind of like the slick surface of the memory protector. It doesn't really stick that well. So I've decided to punch a hole, and then remember I used the wild wheat ribbon, so I need to use that at least one other place. And what a perfect way to use that to secure that wooden title onto this glitter paper by punching a hole and tying some ribbon around it. So even if my liquid adhesive fails, this hole and ribbon will keep it together in the long run. So I'm just going to trim the tails off of that ribbon, put that to the side, and decide where I want to use that at a later time. I'm going to add one more little element to this little grouping. You can see I added 2 stickers on there as well. And then I am going to back that. Now, you didn't see that, it was off camera, but I backed that so you could not see the 3D foam tape from me attaching that circle. Now I went ahead and I put that right layout in a memory protector, and I'm going to go ahead and put this little 8x12 in a memory protector as well. And these are going to be double stacked. You wouldn't really need a double stack, but I did have additional photos that I wanted to use, and that's why I decided to use 2 flip flaps. So I'm just going to kind of draft that out, and I realized that it's going to be better if I attach the glitter gel flip flap first, and that's going to go directly onto my memory protector. So I'm just lining up that other 8x12 piece to make sure I know where I want this one to go. You can see the dots. Now that is how they look. And so if you'll take your bone folder or something like that and kind of burnish those dots down, the dots in that adhesive actually turn, I guess, plain or solid. I don't know, for lack of a better word, but that means that it's really secure. So I'm going to do that second flip flap down and go ahead and burnish it as well. And now you've got a stacked flip flap. Again, you wouldn't really need to do this, it's just I had extra photos. Now because of the bulk, I needed to go ahead and really crease down those flip flaps using my bone folder, and I am really happy with that double flip flap. I did want to make sure that the viewer knows to flip those open, so I've taken a couple of stickers from the sticker sheet and I've just folded those over and then onto the back side of the memory protector. And then I think I'm going to stamp the word "pool." I know I have a stamp set somewhere, so I'm going to stamp that on there so they'll know what to do. So here's a look at those layouts. I did a lot of embellishing off camera because I wanted to really pay attention to how you did the flip flap with the glitter gel. But you can see that I brought in some of the leaves from the sequins that I put in that glitter flip flap. And then I added some of the glitter gems as well. And then you can see where I added some of the die cuts and the stickers to that right layout base. And I am going to just kind of journal on that little pennant right there. And then, of course, you've got groupings. I did use that circle, Oh Blessed Day. I'm absolutely loving how this layout came together. And I can always journal on that back side of the glitter flip flap. Here is a look at some still shots. Remember, I will leave links down below to all the products that I used, as well as links to my friends with the creative design team. I know you've already seen some of their videos, but we've still got a couple more that are going to be posting in the next few days. So go check them out, and don't forget to register for our 31 Days of Christmas Card event that starts October 1st. Thanks so much for stopping by and watching. You can click on the playlist to view all of our 2024 videos, or you can check out the next video that's recommended for you. Thanks, and have a wonderful rest of your weekend.